Welcome to the Gamecast. This is Mark, your host from Pix in Motion, joined by Greg from Pixel Play Cafe. Now, this particular podcast, it starts the Junk Food Chronicles, and it was supposed to start 2 weeks ago, but I kind of got sick and couldn't record, so we're back at it now. And we're going to start out with Yo Noid on the NES. And
tell us about this Noid character, because a lot of the youngins out there have no idea who or what it is and where it came from and all that.
Alrighty, let's get into that. So, Dominos Pizza had a crazy idea back in the, during our childhood days to have a mascot. I mean, why not? Pretty much every other restaurant back in the day had them. Ronald McDonald, Burger King. I don't know if they had the King until... what was that, late 90s, early 2000s or something?
Yeah,
but
the King was pretty late, but...
I mean, I still had one, and I can't quite think of all the restaurants, but basically everyone had some sort of a mascot. And Domino's needed one. So they come out with the Noid, and their campaign was called Avoid the Noid. It didn't last very long, because someone ended up suing them because his name was Noid, and well, there was some issues or something with his life. I don't really know, but he blamed Domino's Pizza, and so they ended up they didn't use the Noid anymore.
It's a little funny. I mean,
it's a lot
sad,
funny,
but kind of funny.
Yeah, but along the lines, during the period of time that they did use the character, they came out with a video game.
Yeah, I went back for this podcast. I went back and watched those commercials because I had actually not saw any of them. I knew of the Noid, but I'd never seen the advertisements with it at all. So I went back and watched a bunch of them. And yeah, the Avoid the Noid thing is just kind of shoehorned into every commercial they had. Whereas, like, eat Domino's Pizza, avoid the Noid, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay. I don't really get it. It didn't make a lot of sense, but they made it fun and entertaining to watch, I suppose.
I think what the Noid was supposed to be, and I don't necessarily mean the character itself, but like the void in your stomach that you were supposed to fill with pizza. And they're saying to avoid being hungry, come eat our pizza. And, that's kind of what people did. Although I know a lot of people had complaints over their pizza thing and it tastes like ketchup or something. But personally, I loved Pizza Day back when, I was in middle school and we had Domino's. Yeah,
for all the kids out there, there was once a time when you couldn't have pizza at school every single day. So imagine that.
Well, good pizza too, because there was those flat pizzas with the fake cheese or whatever. I don't know. Those were gross, but Domino's was the shit, and they come out with the Noid and a video game for it. So let's dive into the game. Yeah,
the funny thing is it's almost not an original game. Almost. Because it's based on a Japanese title that Capcom made at the time for the Famicom over there, the NES for Japan. The game is called, and I'm probably going to pronounce this slightly wrong, but it's Kamen no Ninja Hanmaru. And basically you play as a ninja with a hawk on your shoulder, and it plays very similar to Yo Noid, but the levels are different, character designs are mostly different, and the music is different, mostly. So
it's not like Super Mario Brothers 2, where a lot of it was the same. They just changed the characters.
Yeah, and actually, I got footage for you here. So if you're watching this podcast, you may be seeing that right now.
Awesome.
Not very long. I only did like the first level or so, but it's interesting to see because based on the Wikipedia entry that I read, my expectation was that it was pretty much exactly the same game. They just changed out like the Noid character and maybe a few other characters to be more North Americanized, you know. But no, that's not the case actually. So it's pretty interesting. It might actually be a better design game than Yo Noid, but it plays just as well whether you like Yo Noid or not. The gameplay itself feels good. It's just we'll get into it. Some of the design, it's questionable.
Did they basically just keep the mechanics and then what you're looking at is like fresh paint?
Yeah, it's basically like you have the same UI. It looks exactly the same font and everything. The character moves and feels the same as far as controls go. Instead of throwing a yo-yo, you basically point and your hawk attacks, and it's exactly the same as using the yo-yo.
Oh, okay.
But you're like a little ninja kid or something, and even the card game is somewhat similar, but still different too. We'll get to that in a minute here, but needless to say, it's not exactly the same, and I feel like I might actually want to play through more of it later on, just for the heck of it.
That's cool.
It's different enough. Yeah, the levels aren't the same, so it makes it kind of a whole different game.
Now, I do want to point out that when you're going to be talking about your playtime with Yo Noid, we'll be showing your footage. And when I talk about mine, I'll show my footage. Just so that everyone knows who's playing what. Because I can say that I had a harder time than you did, and I don't know why. So I'll dive in here. I knew of the game, had never seen it, never played it, and then we kind of decided to jump into these games that were based on food companies. And other than the fact it uses the Domino's character, I don't see any Domino's Pizza marketing of any kind in here. Now there's pizza, but it doesn't say Domino's Pizza.
It literally just says pizza.
Yeah, like in the Ninja Turtles arcade game, there's a spot there where it says Domino's Pizza, and that's what they had it in the movie.
Time's up. $3 off.
122 and an 8. Terrific. Where the heck is 122 and an 8?
You're standing on it, dude. Just slip it down here. Give me that.
Hey, this is a 10. The tab's 13.
You're 2 minutes late, dude.
Ah, come on. I couldn't find a place.
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
I gotta get a new route. And I thought I delivered everywhere.
It's hard.
Was that Domino's?
Yeah.
Okay.
But regardless, it's supposed to be a Domino's Pizza based game, and it doesn't even say Domino's. So
yeah, even during those card games, like there's a restaurant in the background, it just says pizza on the sign. It doesn't even say Domino's.
It's kind of funny. So anyway, I actually only made it to the second level, and it's...
How long did you play? How long did you attempt?
In total time, with the other day plus today, maybe 75 minutes. Here's the thing. I got to let's see, the second level pretty fast. Like my very first play, I beat the first level, and I was like, damn, I didn't expect to do this, you know? And then I get to the second level, and I didn't know what's going on, and it's ice, and it takes some skill. You slide all over, and if you jump on the different platforms, there's these small ones, and I kind of look at it like you can't think like Mario Brothers, because you can't just run through it. You got these stupid fish and stuff that pop out of not the same spot, and that's what, like, I get to the second level, I died, I continued all the times, and had to start at the beginning again. Well, I haven't been able to get past the damn beginning. So, like, earlier today, I played it, and I got to the card game, which is the first mini game after the first level. And since I had done it already, I kind of knew more of what you're supposed to do, because the first time I did it, I didn't really have much of an idea. And I was really trying to calculate my moves, like which card should I play. And I know that, like, I had a multiplier.
Yep.
So, like, it's this cube, with the Roman numeral 2. You hit that first, and then any cards you play next will be multiplied by 2. And I was like, I'm going to save this and whatever. Well, I didn't know that there's a time limit. And it's like, oh, you lose, game over. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and then you discovered
at the beginning again.
Yep, it makes you redo the whole previous level.
Yep. Now, I also did learn that you can use your yo-yo on the scrolls that you pick up. And if you hit the big ones, they'll open up. Now, I don't really know what they do. I'm guessing it has to do with the card game. And if you open them up, perhaps it gives you bigger cards. That's my guess.
So
I don't really know for sure. And by mistake, I found a button combination for a power. If you press down, and I do believe it's the yo-yo button. I was playing emulator, so I didn't have a Nintendo controller. But it was probably down in B, I'm guessing, or something. The entire screen will turn like a brighter color and shake, and like all the bad guys die immediately. I don't know if that's like a one-time deal or what, but I did that on accident. I'm like, that's cool. The biggest thing that got me, though, right now, before we started recording here, oh my god, the platform in the first level goes up and down, and
it's on water. So for the people listening.
So the issue I had is I'm platforming, and I see the next platform. I go jump on it, but nope, it wasn't up high enough. You fell in the water. And I'm like, what the hell, man? And it just kept happening and happening, and eventually, it's like, well, for me, thankfully, it's like, oh, out of time, I gotta go record. But like the other day, it was just like, nope, screw this crap. I'm not dealing with this. I don't need this stress.
That I can't believe that's what made you do it. What made you quit?
Well,
of all the things. There's the damn fish in that same segment.
That
is the most
pissed me
infuriating
off,
part.
That pissed me off too, because like I'll stand there and it'll go up and down.
It homes.
And then, I can jump now. As soon as you jump, the fish is like, "Fuck you, buddy."
See, and here's the thing: is it jumps wherever you are at that precise moment. Like, there's a certain set time after it jumps that it will jump again.
Yeah.
You are at that precise moment, it will jump. The only way around that is to keep moving.
Although I did manage to kill it a couple times, using yo-yo. That does help, but it's not guaranteed. So, because I noticed that you get past second level. That was more of a rage quit after that one, I think. But it's just the mechanics of the game. I don't know. Maybe you have to have a young person's mind to really play it.
I don't know. I disagree.
I'm not saying that that's the case. I just thinking if I was younger, if we were to place this back in the late 80s, early 90s, I probably could have played it no problem.
Well, here's the thing. I did play a lot back then, so I had some, residual knowledge, I'll call it, of the game going in.
Okay.
I didn't remember the fish. I did not remember that, but I remembered the platform, because you're kind of on I guess I want to think you're on a boat, but it's not.
It certainly seems like it.
Yeah, because it starts off like you're on like a harbor pier or something, but then I don't know, it starts bobbing up and down the water. That doesn't really make sense, but anyway, I knew that whole thing going in for this video. I knew about that, and I'd probably played pretty far back in the day because it was one of the few NES games I had when I first got my NES. So we have a mutual friend that, I talked to him today actually. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be doing a podcast with Greg today. We're doing it on Yo Noid. And he's like, are you serious? That's like my favorite game on the NES. I'm like, are you kidding me? Slow down. Settle down there, killer. That's a bit extreme, man.
That's what he said. I was a bit shocked. I don't know. I mean, my favorite game is Super Mario 3. And this game I don't think it's in the same.
Okay.
Not same caliber, I suppose, but yeah.
I'm gonna say it's my turn because I have a different opinion.
All right, let's hear it.
Back when we were doing the Crazy Taxi video, I had it in my mind that it was this whole idea of doing this game, covering this game, would be a doozy, just because it's. All I can remember was it being ridiculously hard, unfair, just a lot of dumb stuff involved. But it was something that I'd always assumed I kept playing because that's all I had to play at the time. And my cousin always rented it for some unknown reason.
He probably really liked Dominos.
I don't know. But anyway, I booted it up, and I did use an emulator too because unfortunately I no longer have the cart. So, nor do I have an RGB modded NES. So yeah, I'm not recording that. But I started playing it, and I was kind of surprised, right out of the gate, at how good it felt. The controls are super, super tight.
Oh, definitely.
I was surprised because I could have sworn it was sloppy, but as soon as I turned it on and I saw the logos splash on the screen, I saw Capcom. I was like, okay, I gotta be misremembering something because Capcom didn't make bad games back then. So I knew something was going to be different. But that was the first thing I discovered was it felt control-wise way, way, way better than I remember. The yo-yo mechanic works fine. It's kind of weird, kind of hard to describe. It's almost like if Simon Belmont's whip from Castlevania was fast.
Yeah,
Like-
but every time you use it, like if you're, like
You have to wait for it to return.
slash, it gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah,
And then
that's true, I
the,
guess.
After, like, because there is a power bar for it, and
Yeah,
it has to
that's right.
charge. Because if you know how a yo-yo works, they actually
Need momentum.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, they actually have the physics of the yo-yo properly done. So that's kind of cool.
Well, here's a funny thing that I never, like, during this playthrough, I didn't realize that at all. So I do remember it now that you say it, but I guess I didn't hammer on the attack button at all this time. But as I played through, like, yeah, the first thing that really got me was those damn fish. Because I saw it jump, and I was like, okay, I'll wait for it to jump again, and then I'll take my jump. And then it jumped right underneath me. So I literally was standing there still, and it got me.
Yeah, I had that happen a few times.
Well, yeah, and that's when I learned, okay, this sucks. But after a few levels, I was like, okay, all you have to do is keep moving. It's not always easy to do, but that's the trick. Other than that, I was actually really surprised at a lot of the stuff throughout the game. Like, I actually have a pretty positive outlook on it from playing for this video, and from the video I did on my channel, obviously.
Which is linked down below for people.
Yeah. Hey, if I could get 1 view, guys, that'd be cool. It's been sitting at 0 views for like a week.
But
it is sad. I mean, nobody cares about the Noid. They are definitely avoiding it, like they are told. But hey.
Yeah.
And I totally didn't do it on purpose, but I put on the thumbnail, I put "Avoid the Noid?" ? Well, I guess everybody's like, yes, I am avoiding the Noid. So, okay, guys, you win. But anyway, I thought the music was pretty good.
God, the music gets stuck in your head.
I didn't think it got stuck in my head so much, but it was like, you could tell this was Capcom, and during their heyday, it was really well made. Had a lot of good melodies to it. There's not really anything to complain about in that department.
No.
Even the graphics. I think the graphics are pretty good for the most part.
They actually are. They're pretty. I don't necessarily want to say crisp. I mean, because with an emulator, they're going to be anyways. But
yeah.
They're
very
colorful, actually.
It's colorful, but it's also, I don't know, like, you can tell this is the same company that did, like, the DuckTales games and Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers and those things, because the character designs are pretty dang detailed, and you didn't see a lot of that back on the NES. But that said, the characters and all that and the levels, they look nice, but, like, I don't really understand, like, their purpose, especially the characters.
Yeah,
me,
like
the
fisherman. I'm guessing
exactly, like, well, yeah. In the first level, you have like the fishermen, whatever they are, but then in other levels, you have similar guys, and it's like you're just taking out dudes who are just at work for the day. Like, you're just hitting them with a yo-yo because
they're the ones
there.
trying to avoid the Noid.
Yeah, no crap. And it's like, okay, I guess he's bad because he's like doing something. So hit him.
And the thing too
that
is, like, I'm thinking he's a fisherman, but it looks like he has a shovel. He's like coming at him with a shovel. But then again, it could be a harpoon, and they just had to make it bigger because of the way the sprites are.
Yeah. Then there's, well, like in the ice level, I thought it was really cool to have like the polar bear enemy.
Oh,
because
that reminded me. That reminded me. Polar ice. The slushies that you can get.
Yeah.
That's the same damn character.
Oh yeah.
I forgot to mention that earlier. I don't know if it is for sure, but it certainly looks like it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
it
pull up
does.
some pictures so people can see.
Didn't even think of that. I just remember seeing the bear and thinking, wow, that's a good-looking 8-bit bear.
Yeah, I don't know if that's coincidence or not.
There's also a lot of variety in the stages, which unfortunately you didn't get to see.
Nope,
But
I'm gonna continue to try though because this game's pissing me off. So I gotta see if I can conquer it.
Well, and even so, I'll be sending you the footage to edit and make this video. But it's interesting because there's like a skateboarding stage. There's a what do you want to call it? Can't think of what they call it now. Oh, a gyrocopter stage.
Oh, okay.
Which is
is it like a shmup?
No, yeah, you would think it would be, but no, it's more tap A to move up, but you're navigating through enemies and spikes.
Oh my dear lord!
Yeah,
that's gotta be hard.
It's not too bad, but the way the level starts is literally you falling from the top of the screen, and unless you hit a button, you're just gonna fall to the bottom and die, which I did on my first try. Like, I went into the level and I'm like, okay, and then I start falling from the top of the screen and then dead. I'm like, crap, are you kidding me? Like, tell me something. Give me a heads up or something.
Yeah, no, they don't even tell you how to play the damn game. It's just, here you go. Oh, by the way, there's a card game. Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah, the card game is actually pretty simple. I guess I kind of remembered some of that too, but the way I went at it this time was like, okay, like they all had numbers, so it was like, okay, more numbers is better, right? I kind of went in playing it like a game of war, like you would when you're young and you don't really know how to do anything with cards.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. It's literally war every time, but it's a pizza eating contest. However, in the original game, Kamen no Ninja Hanamaru, they change it a little bit, because in Yonoid, you're basically trying to accumulate pizza by selecting the larger numbered card and taking the difference.
Your points are, if they threw a 3 and you throw a 5, you're getting 2 points.
Exactly, and you accumulate until you get like the max amount of pizzas, or they run out of cards.
Yeah.
Or you run out of cards, unfortunately. But in Hanamaru, you basically, it's the opposite. Like, each character has points. It's like they already have hit points, and you're selecting a card that will deal damage to take those points away. So instead of accumulating the points, you're taking the opponent's points away. So, that was kind of interesting at first because I didn't expect it. But,
what did you, when you were playing the card game, did you get the hot sauce?
Yeah, actually,
that'll take points away too.
That's a perfect segue actually into the power-ups, because there's all kinds of different things in this regard, and it's very Capcom-like in this way. All right, so let's see. So we have various bottles you can find throughout the levels.
Yep.
Some of them will be, like, you don't really know what they are exactly.
No, it doesn't even really say.
Yeah, they're just like exclamation points. So, like, you don't really know what you just picked up. You just got something. But it will almost always be either pepper or hot sauce, like black pepper shaker or hot sauce. And then, as you already mentioned, the 2X icons to double, whatever card you choose.
Yeah, it's the Roman
numeral thing. Yep. Now, those are really cool, but they do nothing to tell you what the heck those are for.
Yeah.
And it makes it, like, luckily, I think they make the card games pretty easy early on in the game, to where if you don't pick up all those icons, you're probably fine. But later on, like, I got nearly to the end, And the thing that stopped me was actually that I basically have to replay a level to get more of those icons so that I can win the damn card game. That's what's stopping me from finishing the game. And I tried looking for Game Genie codes and everything, and there are none for that specific ability. So I'm done. But it's kind of interesting because, like you said, the pepper or the hot sauce will take the enemy's points away. So will the pepper. They both do the same thing, which is kind of weird that they had such a redundancy in place, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I can understand the hot sauce. You know, a lot of people don't like it, so. But
well, I never put hot sauce on my pizza.
oh
That's the
my
weird
god,
thing.
it's so good. I never thought
I never
about
did
it
that.
until I got married. So
I got
My
pepper. I
wife
put
does
pepper on mine.
sometimes.
But
yeah, my wife puts sriracha on her pizza, and I'm like, what? Because
okay.
I grew up with putting ranch on mine, and
Yeah.
here she's doing
Yeah.
hot sauce. I'm like, that's different. Okay. Well, now I actually every now and then, if I'm daring, I'll put it on there with my ranch. It's a little different.
Yeah. So there's those things, and basically, it plays out kind of funny too. I think they capture some of the humor of that character, because you know, the one character will choose like the bigger card, and you'll choose the hot sauce,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I win," and then he does a little dance thing and eats the pizzas, and just like spits it out. Ah, hot sauce, too hot. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and actually,
that fits.
my first time playing the card game, I do believe I lost, and only because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I lost by a point.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh man, so okay, and I kind of figured it out, and then my next run through of the level, I got the hot sauce somehow, and that's when I learned what it does.
So that's one of the complaints I actually have, is that some of those power-ups, they're literally hidden in the background, and the only way to get them is to throw your yo-yo at the right spot in the background.
Okay.
There's no tell that you should throw the yo-yo here, but if you just keep throwing it, you'll find hidden ones in the background. So that is really stupid. That's not a good design choice at all, and I do think that's a negative thing about the game.
But then again, Castlevania had a lot of that kind of stuff too, especially in Simon's Quest. A lot of hidden
Sort of.
stuff that you could hit with your whip.
But the crucial difference is that if you didn't do that, you didn't have to repeat the previous level.
Oh, that's
So-
true. That's true.
It was always like bonuses, like health or, power up or something. But then there's like the fact that there's no checkpoints in the levels, and they're not especially short. Like Mario 3 didn't have checkpoints. Those levels are really short.
Yeah, what might
And-
take you like a minute and a half to complete, Noid's at least double that, maybe even triple.
Yeah, those levels are way longer than the likes of Mario 3. They're not as complex either, but they're more difficult, way more unfair, as we've kind of discussed. I noticed a lot of trial and error kind of stuff going on that I can't get behind, because who wants to jump blindly into what might be an open pit and not know until you get there if you made it to a platform?
Yeah.
Or take a jump and there's just like bad enemy placement in some of these levels where it looks clear, you take this big leap, and then like a fish or something else flies down and hits you and you're dead. It's like, oh, well, I didn't realize I was going to be throwing my yo-yo on the jump there. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. And then, as I mentioned earlier, too, if you failed in the pizza eating contest card game, you have to repeat the whole level you just did, which
Yeah, and that part sucks to me. That's why they should have had a checkpoint, and then after the card game, you would just go back to the checkpoint.
Well, here's the thing. To their credit, the reason they have you repeat the whole level is so that you can have the opportunity to get more of those power-ups, like the hot sauce and the pepper and the 2x and stuff,
Yeah.
so that you can win the card battle. Because I get it, because that's how you have to get them, but there had to be a more elegant way to do it. Having to just throw your yo-yo blindly into nothingness to find those things, that makes repeating the levels a lot worse. Because it's not like you're exploring. You're just throwing a yo-yo around like a crazy person. Like,
yeah,
that's not good design. The enemies can be a little strange. It's not. I kind of already said that, but that's kind of a negative because I don't think it necessarily fits all the time. Some of them just don't look like they belong. Or some of them I don't even know what the heck they're supposed to be. And then there's the one thing that you already touched on, but I wanted to go into a little farther because I played through most of this game not using this except for when I did it by accident, and that was like the magic abilities. You push down and B.
Yeah.
And
is there more than that?
Oh, there is. There's all kinds.
Well,
So here's the thing. You kind of did, but you didn't connect the dots is what happened because I did the same thing. So when you hit those big scrolls and they open up, those are power-ups.
Oh.
So those are the magic abilities. So when you open them, you get that ability. If you don't open them, it goes into your magic meter at the bottom. So all those little scrolls and the big scrolls that you pick up that are not opened up, they contribute to your magic meter. As long as you have enough magic, you can use those magic powers by hitting down and B to enable them. So I went through like the whole game not realizing that all I had to do to help myself in a lot of these situations was hit down and B. So and they don't tell you
that. You can do it more than once?
Yeah, as long as you have enough magic.
Oh shit. I'm gonna have to try it then.
Yeah, it changes things. But
screw you, fish.
And this is why it's in the con list for me, because they don't tell you this. They don't demonstrate it in any way how to do it. Now, it could be that it's in the instruction book. It probably is. And of course, these days those don't exist, so
yeah.
Maybe that's why it's not demonstrated in the game at all. But either way, it kind of sucks,
Yeah.
But it's cool it's there. But
I've seen Domino's kind of bring back the character. I don't know if it's like they're bringing the whole campaign or if it was just like something they just wanted to mention because it's it has some history to it. But if it's something they are indeed bringing back, I think it'd be cool if they had Capcom remaster it, in some sort of way, and then have the original
like they did with DuckTales.
Yeah, and oh man, wouldn't that be sweet?
Maybe
improve the looks like that, and maybe have some of the mechanics improved a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a how-to in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of complaints about the game, but at the same time, these are all things that could be ironed out pretty easily. And once you learn them, it's not that bad. It's just when you first play, it's just awful. So I don't know. For those people listening who might want to check out this weird game, it's not like a bad game. It's just be patient because it is super annoying until you learn the ins and outs and all the quirks that it has.
Yeah, especially now that I know about the magic, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah, I went like 10 levels and I never even used it, not on purpose. Just every once in a while,
that'd be an
have an earthquake. Yeah.
You'd get achievements for that today.
Yeah. Well, one last tidbit I thought was kind of interesting is that when you bought the game back then, it came with a Domino's coupon for $1 off.
Ooh, $1. But then again,
Yeah.
back then, that was actually probably quite a bit.
Yeah, and in one of the commercials I was watching, they had a thing
Which
where
I'll
you needed
play at
some-
the end of the podcast. I'll have it on there. We don't make any money right now anyways, so...
Yeah.
They get
Well, they
it.
had a promotion at one point where if you had X amount of proof of purchase of Domino's Pizza, that you would get like $5 off the
Off the game?
Yonoid. I think it was a Yonoid Game Boy cartridge.
They had it for Game Boy?
I think so.
Oh
I'd
my
have to watch the
God, I'm
commercial
gonna
again.
Find that.
I'd have to watch the commercial again, but it was a Game Boy cartridge of some kind. It might not have been Yonoid. It might have been something else for the promotion. But either way, it was weird that they had this thing, $5 off a video game. It was like through Toys R Us or KB Toys or something like that, I believe too. So
Just
very
from
weird.
using your Domino's Pizza.
Proof of purchase. Yep.
Wow.
Very strange, but I gotta ask you actually. This is our first Junk Food Chronicles video, and it's about probably the weirdest character to ever promote pizza. I'm pretty sure.
Probably any food.
Possibly, yeah. What do you think? Like, is it really as bad as you thought it might be?
No, not at all. I think it's hard simply because time. I'm rushed for time every day, it seems. When you have a 2-year-old running around constantly, nagging at you to play with Play-Doh or, whatever. It's like, well, I just need a minute to myself. I want to play this game. Next thing you know, Dad. So I think, honestly, I think if I could sit down just to play it for even 2 hours, I'd probably get just as far as you did. And it's not in fact, they could have come out with this game and it wasn't like if Domino's never had, the Noid.
Mm-hmm.
This could have been a pretty interesting platformer.
Yeah, and obviously it was because they had a game. They didn't bring over to the U.S. and then this opportunity came up and they sort of brought it over, but not really.
Yeah, and it still doesn't really make sense to me, but I think that's because of the fact that it is, has to deal with Domino's.
Yeah. Interesting side note too is that there's a fan-made sequel to the game.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I believe it was put on, I want to say PS2, something like that.
It's a homebrew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It's all in 3D.
if I can find the links or whatever to it, I will link to it in the bottom. If you don't see it there, it's because I couldn't find it.
Yeah, maybe we'll check that out one of these days.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Junk Food Chronicles bonus.
Yeah, so anyway, I think that was a pretty good start for this whole thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty it's a powerful game for a start of a mini series here. And with that in mind, next week's is going to continue with Junk Food Chronicles. We're going to be doing Cool Spot from 7-Up. I don't, as a character back in the day. Remember those commercials? It's kind of different. But I can say that the game itself is actually, it's pretty high
Something to talk about next week.
Yeah, it's a pretty high caliber game. It's actually that's what it is. It's very pretty. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. And instead of the normal endings, check out this Domino's Pizza commercial. Not sponsored. I wish it was. But I like Domino's, and it involves the Noid, and it kind of ties in with the game. So enjoy that.
If you want more info on the Yo Noid game, I have a review over on my channel over at Pixel Play Cafe. So
links in the
it's only
description
like 6 minutes long, so check it out.
Yep, and again, thanks for tuning in, and enjoy this pizza commercial, and buy me a pizza or Greg a pizza. We'll take one. It'll be great. All right, see you guys later.